Hi everyone! Today's video is about tracing the pattern onto fabric and sewing them to finish the Jalu Maxi dress. Let's get started. Last time, I forgot to remind you to mark the fold line at the center. Don't skip it this time. Do the same for the collar and neckline casing too. First, lay your fabric nice and flat on the floor, wrong side facing out. Place your patterns on top. This time, the patterns don't include seam allowance, so remember to add ½ inch or 1.3 centimeter all around. Trace each piece, then cut them out. This will be the back part. Now, repeat the same process for the front. For the neckline, you made a hole in the pattern. Trace around it, then add ½ inch or 1.3 centimeter seam allowance. Don't forget to label your pieces if you'd like. Next, let's cut out the skirt panels. We didn't make a paper pattern for this part because it works better to draw directly onto the fabric. Fold the fabric right side together, wrong side facing out, and lay it flat on the floor. Draw a rectangle 21 by 24 inches. If you want more gathering, you can make it wider, but I will keep mine this size. Then cut it out. Now, for the neckline casing, place in on the bias grain and add 3/8 inch seam allowance, except along this inner edge. As I mentioned before, you can also use ribbon instead if you prefer. Now we are ready to sew. Here are all the pieces we have. 2 skirt panels, front and back bodies, 2 collars, 4 straps, 4 pockets, 2 neckline casings. Next, let's move to the sewing part. Trim only the straight edges of the bodice pieces, the shoulders, side seams, and hem, and the pockets as well. Now, let's add the pockets. Place the bodice and pocket pieces right side together, aligning the pocket edge with the bodice hem. Stitch the pocket in place using a ½ inch seam allowance. Repeat the same step for all 4 pocket pieces. Press the pockets flat, then place the bodice pieces right side together. From the top of the pocket, measure down 2 inches and mark. Skip 6 inches for the pocket opening. Stitch around the pocket edges with a 3/8 inches seam allowance to secure the shape. The pockets are now complete. To keep them from shifting front or back, secure each pocket to the front bodice with a few stitches along the hem. Stay-stitch the neckline front and back with the longest stitch length to prevent stretching. Join the shoulders with a ½ inch seam allowance and press the seams flat. Sew the 2 collar pieces together along the short sides. Fold the collar in half lengthwise and press all the way around. Attach the collar to the bodice, matching the seam lines at both edges first. Stitch the collar to the bodice with a ½ inch seam allowance, then overlock the seam to finish it neatly. Press the seam allowance toward the bodice and top stitch in place. Wow, we are almost done with the Jalu Maxi dress. This part is not the Jalu waistband. We are attaching a casing to make the openings for the straps. You can also use a ribbon for the casing. This time, I will use fabric on the front and ribbon on the back. Since we allowed a ½ inch seam allowance, fold the top and bottom edges like this. Then fold the short edges into a double fold and stitch in place. Do the same if we are using ribbon. Place a casing piece on the right side of the collar. Stitch along the top and bottom edges, both front and back. Each casing should start about ½ inch away from the side seam. This will make it easier later to thread the straps through. For the armhole, measure the armhole front and back. Add 4 inches for ease. Cut 2 bias strips 1.25 inch by 28 inches long. Attach the bias strips to the armholes, aligning edges precisely. Leave a little ease at the ends to connect the strips smoothly. Now the armholes are nice and cleanly finished. Join the skirt panels. Add double stay stitch along the top edge for gathering. Gently pull the 2 threads together evenly. Finally, join the bodice and skirt. Match the side seams first, then adjust the gathers to fit the bodice. Then stitch with a half-inch seam allowance. Finish the hem with a double fold, then stitch in place. This part is optional. Sometimes I like to trim the skirt hem with lace. It makes the whole outfit look even prettier. Just stitch the lace over the hem. Last step, make the straps. Insert the straps into the neckline casing. Those of you who have watched before will already know this step, and if this is your first time, please refer to this video. It's all done. Great job, everyone. Now, let's try it on.